3 seconds, that's all you get. In 3 seconds, she's already decided whether you're interesting or invisible. And here's what's going to blow your mind. It has nothing to do with your face, your height, or your body. Nothing to do with your clothes, your watch, or your haircut. You could look like a movie star and still fail this test. You could be average looking and pass it effortlessly. Right now, men are obsessing over the gym, their skincare routine, their outfit, thinking that's what gets attention. Meanwhile, they're completely missing the one thing that women clock in the first 3 seconds that determines everything about how they perceive you. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what women notice first, why it matters more than anything else, and how you can make sure you're sending the right signal every single time you walk into a room. Pay attention. This changes everything. It's your energy and presence. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Because you can't buy it or fake it. What women notice in the first 3 seconds is your energy, your presence, the way you occupy space, the invisible signal you're broadcasting about who you are before you even open your mouth. This sounds vague, so let me make it concrete. When you walk into a room, you're either taking up space confidently or you're apologizing for existing. You're either grounded and centered or you're anxious and seeking approval. You're either comfortable in your own skin or you're desperately trying to figure out how to be perceived. Women pick up on this instantly. It's not conscious. They're not thinking, let me analyze his energy. It's a gut level read that happens in milliseconds. Their nervous system is scanning yours and getting immediate feedback about who you are. Think about what energy actually is in this context. It's how you move through space. Whether your movements are confident or hesitant, whether you make eye contact naturally or avoided, whether your body language is open or closed, whether you seem comfortable or on edge, it's the vibe you give off before any words are exchanged. Are you relaxed or tense? Are you present or in your head? Are you calm or anxious? All of this information is being transmitted through microsignals that humans are hardwired to detect. Here's why this matters more than looks. Attractiveness is subjective and varies wildly between people, but energy is universal, confident, grounded, present. Energy is attractive to everyone. Anxious, needy, approval-seeking energy is repulsive to everyone. You've seen this play out. The guy who walks into a party and immediately starts looking around to see who's noticing him, adjusting his shirt, checking his phone nervously. His energy screams insecurity. Compare that to the guy who walks in, takes a breath, looks around calmly, and moves through the space like he belongs there. Same room, completely different energy. Women are scanning for this because energy signals survival value at a primitive level. Confident energy suggests capability, status, emotional stability. Anxious energy suggests weakness, low status, emotional volatility. These assessments happen below conscious awareness because they're evolutionary adaptations. Here's what most men get wrong. They think projecting strong energy means being loud, dominant, or aggressive. Wrong. Strong energy is actually calm. It's relaxed power. It's being completely comfortable with yourself and your place in any environment. The man with powerful presence doesn't need to announce himself. He doesn't need to dominate conversations or prove his worth. He simply exists in his own certainty, and that certainty is magnetic. Think about how this shows up in those first 3 seconds. You approach a group or enter a space. If your energy, is apologetic, seeking permission to exist, women feel it immediately and register you as low value. If your energy is calm, grounded, self-assured, they feel that too and register you as someone worth paying attention to. Confidence shows in your body language. Let's get specific about how energy manifests. It's all in your body language. And women are reading your body language from the moment they see you, extracting massive amounts of information before you say a single word. Your body is constantly communicating. The question is, what is it saying about you? Confident body language has specific markers. You stand tall with shoulders back, not because you're forcing it, but because you're comfortable. You take up space rather than making yourself small. Your movements are deliberate and calm, rather than jerky and nervous. You make eye contact easily and naturally. Your facial expression is relaxed, maybe slightly amused rather than tense or try hard. Compare this to anxious body language. Hunched shoulders, fidgeting hands, darting eyes that can't hold contact, forced smiles, nervous movements, constantly adjusting clothes or hair, standing rigidly or shifting weight uncomfortably. Every single one of these signals broadcasts insecurity. Women notice this immediately because body language is a direct window into your internal state. You can lie with words, you cannot lie with body language, at least not convincingly. Your body reveals what you're actually feeling, and women are exceptionally skilled at reading these signals. Here's what's happening in those first 3 seconds. She glances at you, and her brain processes your posture, your facial expression, your energy, your presence. Is he comfortable? Is he confident? Is he secure? Or is he anxious, seeking approval, uncomfortable in his own skin? This assessment happens faster than thought. It's processed in the amygdala and other primitive brain structures that evolved to quickly evaluate threat and opportunity. By the time her conscious mind has registered your presence, her subconscious has already made the call. Think about what different body language signals communicate. Slouched posture suggests low status and defeat. Rigid posture suggests tension and trying too hard. Relaxed upright posture suggests confidence and comfort. Fidgeting suggests anxiety. Stillness suggests calm. Avoiding eye contact suggests shame or fear. Natural eye contact suggests confidence and interest. The man who understands this doesn't think about each element. He's done the inner work to actually feel confident, and his body naturally reflects that internal state. He's not performing confidence. He is confident, and it shows. Here's a critical distinction. Confident body language isn't about dominance displays or taking up maximum space to assert yourself. That's insecure behavior disguised as confidence. Real confident body language is relaxed and natural. You're not trying to prove anything. You're just comfortable being yourself in space. Women can spot the difference instantly. The guy who's puffing his chest and spreading his legs wide to look alpha, they see through it. That's compensation for insecurity. The guy who's just naturally comfortable, taking up reasonable space without apology or aggression, that's genuine confidence. In those first 3 seconds, your body language is telling a story. Is it the story of a man who's comfortable with himself, or the story of a man who's anxious about how he's being perceived? One is attractive, one is repulsive. The practical application. You cannot fix body language through techniques alone. Yes, you can practice standing straighter and making eye contact, but if you're still internally anxious and approval-seeking, your body will betray you through countless micro signals you're not consciously controlling. The real work is internal. Build genuine confidence through competence and self-acceptance. Stop caring so much about what others think. Develop a life you're genuinely excited about. When you do this inner work, confident body language happens naturally because you're actually confident, not performing confidence. Pay attention to your body language in the next social situation. Are you making yourself small, fidgeting, avoiding eye contact? These are signals you're sending constantly. Now notice someone who seems naturally confident. Their body is relaxed. They move calmly. They maintain eye contact easily. That's what you're aiming for, but it has to come from genuine inner security. The way you enter a space matters. Here's something specific that happens in those first 3 seconds. The way you enter a room, approach a group, or show up in a space tells women everything they need to know about your status and confidence. Think about it. You walk into a party, a bar, a social gathering. What's your energy in that moment of entry? Are you scanning anxiously for familiar faces, looking down at your phone, hesitating at the door, or are you walking in calmly, taking in the environment, moving with purpose? Women notice how you enter before they notice that you entered. The energy of your entrance broadcasts information about your social confidence and self-assurance. The man who enters a space with confidence does a few things naturally. He pauses briefly to survey the room, rather than rushing in anxiously. He makes eye contact with people he passes, rather than avoiding all eye contact. He moves deliberately toward where he's going, rather than wandering aimlessly. He might acknowledge the host or a friend with calm recognition, rather than desperate seeking of approval. Compare this to the anxious entrance, walking in quickly with head down, immediately pulling out phone as security blanket, awkwardly hovering at the edges, seeking familiar faces with desperate energy, looking around nervously to see who's watching. Every bit of this communicates discomfort and low status. Here's what women are reading in that entrance. Does this man belong here? Is he comfortable in social settings? Does he have social value? Is he someone people are happy to see, or someone apologizing for existing? The confident entrance answers these questions favorably before you've spoken to anyone. The anxious entrance marks you as socially uncomfortable, and women will subconsciously file you under not interesting before you've had a chance to do anything else. This applies to every entrance, not just big social events. Walking up to a group at a bar, entering a coffee shop, approaching someone you want to talk to. Every single time, your energy in that approach or entrance is broadcasting information. The key is being present rather than in your head. When you enter a space worried about how you're being perceived, you create anxious energy. When you enter a space genuinely present and engaged with your environment, you create confident energy. Think about someone you know who has great social presence. Watch how they enter spaces. They are not rushing or hiding. They are calm, present, sometimes even slightly amused by the situation. They belong wherever they are because they decide they belong. That internal certainty shows up in every movement. This isn't about being arrogant or making a show of yourself. It's about being comfortable. The man who's comfortable walks in like he's supposed to be there. The man who's uncomfortable walks in apologizing for his existence. Women pick up this distinction instantly. Here's the practical truth. Your entrance sets the frame for every interaction that follows. Enter with anxious energy and you're fighting uphill to be seen as attractive. Enter with calm confidence and you've already passed the first major test. The way to improve this isn't to rehearse entrances or think about it consciously in the moment. That creates more anxiety. The way to improve this is to become genuinely comfortable in social settings through exposure and inner work. When you're actually comfortable, your entrances naturally communicate that. Pay attention to your next few entrances into social spaces. What's your energy? Are you trying to sneak in unnoticed, anxiously seeking familiar faces, or are you calmly present, acknowledging the space and moving through it with purpose? Your entrance is being evaluated in those first 3 seconds, and it's setting up everything that comes after. Eye contact reveals everything. Let's talk about something specific that women notice immediately. Your eyes, not how they look, but what you do with them. Your eye contact patterns reveal more about your confidence and character than almost anything else. In those first 3 seconds, whether you can hold eye contact naturally tells women whether you're confident or insecure, interested or intimidated, genuine or fake. Confident eye contact has a specific quality. It's steady but not intense, natural but not forced. You look at people when they're speaking. You hold contact when you're speaking. You're not staring them down aggressively, and you're not darting your eyes away nervously. You're just comfortable with eye contact because you're comfortable with yourself. Contrast this with insecure eye contact patterns. Looking away immediately when someone makes eye contact with you. Constantly glancing around the room instead of focusing on the person in front of you. Staring too intensely to try to seem confident, which just comes across as aggressive or weird. Looking down frequently, which signals submission or shame. Women are reading your eye contact in those first moments and making instant judgments. Can he hold my gaze? Does he look away nervously? Is he looking around for something better? Is he focused and present or distracted and anxious? Here's why eye contact matters so much. The eyes are called the windows to the soul for a reason. They reveal emotional state immediately. Confident people can hold eye contact comfortably because they are not threatened by being seen. Insecure people struggle with eye contact because being truly seen feels vulnerable and exposing. When you can't hold eye contact, you're communicating several things. You're uncomfortable being seen. You're anxious about being judged. You're not fully present. You might be hiding something or feeling shame. None of these are attractive qualities. When you can hold eye contact naturally, you're communicating. You're comfortable with yourself. You're not afraid of being seen. You're present and engaged. You have nothing to hide. You're confident in who you are. All of these are deeply attractive. Think about how this plays out practically. You see an attractive woman and make eye contact. Do you immediately look away? Do you hold it for a moment with a slight smile? Do you stare intensely trying to show dominance? Each response sends a different signal about who you are. The confident man holds eye contact naturally, maybe smiles slightly, then continues what he was doing. He acknowledged her, showed he's not intimidated, but isn't desperately seeking a response. The insecure man either stares too hard, overcompensating, or looks away immediately, intimidated. The anxious man avoids eye contact altogether. Self-P protection. Women pick up on these patterns instantly because eye contact triggers deep evolutionary responses. Predators stare intensely. Prey avoids eye contact. Confident humans engage in natural, comfortable eye contact that suggests neither threat nor submission. Here's what's interesting. You cannot fake confident eye contact through technique alone. If you're internally anxious and force yourself to hold eye contact, it comes across as intense and weird rather than confident. True confident eye contact flows naturally from genuine inner security. The work here is internal. When you're actually comfortable with who you are, when you're not desperate for approval or terrified of rejection, eye contact becomes easy. You're not avoiding being seen because you're okay with being seen. You're not forcing intense contact because you don't need to prove anything. Pay attention to your eye contact patterns. When you're talking to someone attractive, what happens? Do your eyes dart away? Do you struggle to maintain contact? Do you overcompensate with intense staring? Or do you naturally engage with comfortable eye? Contact question mark. In those first 3 seconds, your eyes are telling women whether you're confident enough to be seen, present enough to truly see them, and comfortable enough with yourself to engage authentically. That's powerful information they're extracting before any words are exchanged. Your facial expression speaks volumes. Final piece of what women notice in those first 3 seconds, your facial expression, not whether you're handsome, but what your face is doing. What emotion are you broadcasting before you even speak? Facial expressions are processed incredibly fast by the human brain. Within milliseconds, people read emotions from faces and make judgments about approachability, friendliness, threat level, and attractiveness. The ideal facial expression for making a strong first impression is what researchers call relaxed confidence or amused mastery. It's not a forced smile. It's not intense seriousness. It's a relaxed, slightly amused, comfortable expression that suggests you're enjoying yourself and at ease. Think about what different facial expressions communicate. A tense, serious face suggests you're stressed or uncomfortable. A forced smile suggests you're trying too hard to be liked. A blank expression suggests you're disconnected or aloof. A scowl suggests anger or contempt. A nervous expression suggests anxiety and insecurity. But a relaxed face with perhaps a slight hint of a smile that suggests you're comfortable, confident, at ease with yourself and your environment. You're approachable but not desperate, content but not closed off. This is the facial expression that makes women want to engage rather than avoid. Women scan facial expressions in those first seconds to assess emotional state and approachability. Is this person safe, friendly, confident, interesting, or threatening, desperate, anxious, unstable? Your face is answering these questions before you say anything. Here's what most men get wrong. They either try too hard with big forced smiles, or they default to serious, tense expressions, thinking that looks masculine. Neither works. The forced smile seems desperate for approval. The serious face seems unapproachable or angry. The sweet spot is natural, relaxed with a hint of positive emotion. You're not performing happiness. You're genuinely comfortable, and that comfort shows on your face. Maybe there's a slight upturn to your mouth suggesting you're in a good mood. Maybe your eyes have a hint of warmth, suggesting you're approachable, but it's all natural, not forced. Think about people you know who seem naturally attractive despite average features. Often they have this quality of relaxed, warm facial expression. They look like they're enjoying life, like they're comfortable with themselves, like approaching them would be pleasant rather than awkward. That facial expression does massive work in making them attractive. Compare that to someone who might be better looking, but has a tense, serious, or anxious facial expression, they immediately seem less approachable, less confident, less attractive, because facial expression communicates internal state, and internal state matters more than features. Here's the truth about facial expressions: they're hard to control consciously because they're connected to genuine emotion. If you're anxious inside, your face will show it, no matter how hard you try to hide it. If you're genuinely comfortable and in a good mood, your face will naturally reflect that. So, the work isn't about practicing expressions in the mirror. It's about actually feeling comfortable, confident, and positive. So, your face naturally expresses that. When you're internally stressed but trying to smile, it looks fake. When you're internally at ease, your face naturally looks approachable and attractive. In those first 3 seconds, women are reading your facial expression for emotional information. Are you someone they'd want to talk to? Are you in a good headspace? Are you confident and comfortable? Or are you anxious, trying too hard, or closed off? Your face is answering these questions continuously, broadcasting your internal state to everyone around you. And in those critical first moments before anything else happens, your facial expression is making or breaking the impression you create. So there it is, the one thing women notice in the first 3 seconds: your energy, your presence, the sum total of your body language, your entrance, your eye contact, your facial expression, all broadcasting information about who you are at your core, not your looks, not your clothes, not your height or your muscles or your haircut. Those things might matter later, but in the first 3 seconds, none of that registers as much as the energy you're projecting. Here's why this is actually good news. You can't change your face or your height, but you can change your energy. You can develop genuine confidence. You can become comfortable in your own skin. You can build inner security that radiates outward. But here's the catch: you can't fake this. You can't perform confident energy while internally desperate and insecure. The disconnect will be felt. Women's nervous systems are scanning for authenticity, and they can detect performance versus genuine presence. The real work is internal. Build a life you're genuinely proud of. Develop skills and competence. Stop caring so much about what others think. Do the inner work to actually like yourself. When you do this, confident energy happens naturally because you are confident, not because you're trying to seem confident. Everything we talked about: powerful presence, confident body language, strong entrances, natural eye contact, relaxed facial expressions, all of this flows naturally from genuine inner security. You can't add these things on top of insecurity and expect them to work. You have to build the foundation first. Start paying attention to the signals you're sending in those first 3 seconds. What's your energy when you walk into a room? What does your body language say about you? How's your eye contact? What's your face communicating? If you're sending anxious, approval-seeking, uncomfortable signals, that's what women are picking up on instantly. And no amount of good looks will overcome weak energy. But if you do the work to become genuinely confident, if you build real inner security, if you become comfortable with who you are, then your energy in those first 3 seconds will be magnetic. You'll command attention not through trying, but through being. That's what women notice first. That's what determines whether you're interesting or invisible. Not your features, but your presence. Now go build the kind of presence that makes those first 3 seconds